There's no way someone would be this stupid to actually bring this shit to a real mechanic and ask the mechanic why it doesn't build any horsepower. TEMU, or as I like to call it, the place where you can buy absolutely anything for ridiculously low prices, especially things for cars. Wings, bumper lips, valve caps, and certain other tools. I just loaded up the site to look for tools, and the first thing it shows me is suction toy vibrate men. As a mechanic, you sometimes come across the TEMU modifications when working on many cars. Now don't get me wrong, there are some items that can be acceptable, like if you buy cheap plastic parts such as door mirrors or door handles that your car desperately needs because the OEM part is way too out of budget. However, every mechanic knows that you should never buy engine components from TEMU because it can be extremely risky relying on the Chinesium water pump you got from TEMU to actually keep your engine cool and not cause your car to suddenly produce milkshake. I once had a customer with a small blue hatchback. Now, this little blue shit box was filled to the brim with accessories from Wish, Amazon, and yes, TEMU. Things like lights, radios, speakers, and a screen that did nothing. This was definitely someone who watched the first Fast and Furious movie and decided, yes, I want my car to look just like that. However, he had a very interesting complaint about his car. Something that he installed that he bought from TEMU. The TEMU turbocharger that he installed isn't building boost. And I thought, well, there's your problem. It's a TEMU turbo. Of course it won't build boost. It's probably defective or it's just shit. But I thought, let me just have a look. Perhaps it's just a boost leak, or maybe he just installed it incorrectly. So when I brought the car in, I noticed a sticker on the front bumper that seemed to hint to his modifications. Not to mention the trumpet thing that he had shoved where the fog light should be. That's also connected to nothing, by the way. It was just there. But when I opened the bonnet, I was shocked. I was so dumbfounded by what I saw. His boost problem was so clear to me now. Are you ready to see the world's most powerful turbo known to man? Yes, this is his turbocharger. A fucking pipe with a fan blade in it. And I kid you not, a literal garden hose shoved into it, and this garden hose was piped to his boost gauge. I thought this dude was trolling me or something. There's no way someone would be this stupid to actually bring this shit to a real mechanic and ask the mechanic why it doesn't build any horsepower. But no, this guy was that stupid. I told him that this was the whole problem. There's no boost because there's no turbo. This is a pipe. You got scammed, bud. Now you'd think this would be a bit of a learning experience for the poor guy. Clearly he didn't know much about cars, but he was really into modification. And this was clearly his first attempt at modification. But no, he was so convinced that this thing has power potential and kept telling me that I must just fix it. And I said, how? How do you fix something that doesn't exist? You cannot build boost from nothing. This man was either highly uneducated or purely naive. I even went as far as to try and educate him with an actual turbocharger I had on at bench. I tried to explain to him how this thing compresses air and how it relies on exhaust gases to spool up to actually create boost. And guess what he tells me after that? Yeah, I'm sure. But I'm gonna go to a different workshop and I'll get a second opinion on this. Because you're just trying to sell me a more expensive turbo by the looks of it.
You're a fucking idiot.
This dude was wasting my time and just being stupid. But I told him, fine, it's okay. You don't need to listen to my opinion. You can go to another workshop. And what made me laugh, as he was walking out the door, there was another one of my customers' cars standing outside. It was just a normal Opel Astra. And the owner stuck a random R badge next to Astra. And this dude looked at this and he goes, "Oh, bro, check this thing. It's an Astra R. I've never heard of them before, but the R must mean it's sporty." And after he said this, I just looked at him and I thought, does this dude just not know anything? Does he not notice, fakery when it comes to cars? Is he so blind by his own stupid creation that he'll look at a badge that some random kid stuck on their car and believe it? And to top it all off, he looked at my Lancer, which is just a Lancer, and he says, "Oh, bro, you got an Evo 10? Sick, bro." I'm like, yes, bud, that's an Evo 10. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a like and maybe even comment. Also, here's some free car advice. Whenever you fill up your car with petrol or diesel, do it early in the morning or late at night, because the colder the air, the more dense the fuel is. And the more dense the fuel is, the more fuel you have in your tank, which means you'll save money. Thank you and goodbye.